So honestly, I enjoy the fact that the first few episodes are just introducing us to the characters, and we get a lot of time with one character instead of all of them. The first episode's about Iron Man. He takes on Hydra. Nick Fury tries to get him to join, and he doesn't join. Second episode, it's about Hulk. Hawkeye and Black Widow and Agent Ross and a bunch of other people try to take down Hulk. He only ends up getting captured because he decides to save some innocent civilians' lives who almost get killed. And I do want to mention this before I forget. War Machine was in the very first episode and then never appears again in the 26 episodes. Pepper was also in the first episode, and she didn't appear that much after, but she did appear a few times. I don't know why they forgot about poor War Machine. The third episode introduces Thor. He meets Jane Foster. She shows up sometimes throughout the show. He goes back to Asgard, defeats Loki. Odin tells the fact that he's gonna do Odin sleep, so he wants Thor to stay, but Thor decides that Earth needs more protecting than Odin, and he leaves. Pretty solid third episode too. The fourth episode, we get to learn about Ant-Man and Wasp. They take down Whirlwind. They also fight Claw, which was really cool. And he's voiced by fucking Mark Hamill. Did not expect that. His character later, it seems like he dies, but I'm not 100% sure. He might appear next season. Then the next episode is about Captain America. He takes on Red Skull. And then fucking Bucky is voiced by Robin from Teen Titans. Did not expect that either. Another really cool voice actor to pick. Kind of works since he's a sidekick. The next episode is a two-parter where we get one of the characters I personally love in the comics, Mad Thinker. He's more of a Spider-Man villain from the comics I've read about him. My favorite comic was where he had like this big gold thing that he was so confident Spider-Man couldn't beat, but Spider-Man ends up beating him. He's a pretty cool guy, but he has like one line and then he does not appear for the rest of the season. Kind of disappointed me. But the first part, it mainly we get to see shit tons of villains and the Avengers trying to take him down. But then the second part is like a lazy Nick Fury is a bad guy backstory, where he accidentally got one of the people he recruited to work for him turned into this supervillain. So they spend like the whole episode taking him down, and now the Avengers are a team. But not really, because in the next episode, Hulk quits already. It's just constantly characters are quitting, which I think is stupid. Every now and then they'll have a character just leave, like Ant-Man goes to Wakanda or something. But I feel like a lot of the time to get a character out of the way, they just have them quit, which is just really, really stupid. Then in the next episode, they discover Captain America. He has to realize that he is in fact in a new world now. And he fights Zemo again, though, who's one of his old villains. Which is a kind of silly thing to do in the first episode of where he's supposed to be in a new world. Next episode, this scientist guy, Simon, he's about to go bankrupt. Iron Man buys his place, so he doesn't, but he misunderstands it. So he becomes a villain now. Just kind of silly. The next episode, we finally get Black Panther. He has shown up a little bit throughout the season, but he has not had like a full episode or, a big part. Like, it's mainly been kind of cameos, for lack of a better word. But, Claw's back. He gets turned into like this big creature and then he kind of dies. I am assuming that's what happened to him. It didn't look like he survived that. Black Panther regains Wakanda, and decides that he should help the Avengers and team up with them more. The next two episodes, the first part, there really isn't that much to it. The Avengers are hired to go help with gamma radiation. They seemingly fixed the problem, but in the next episode, they didn't. The leader has now turned the Avengers into gamma radiation monsters, and they look like their names. Like Black Panther is a panther, Wasp is a wasp. Dumb stuff like that. And it's up to Hawkeye and Hulk, who Hawkeye has to go find because Hulk quit the Avengers, if you remember me mentioning that earlier. So now Hawkeye has to go get Hulk. And, they go to take down the leader and stuff. Just, it's a kid's show, so I don't expect all the episodes to be good, but surprisingly, a lot of the episodes are a lot of fun. I used to watch this show as a kid. The theme song still hits hard. And there's still a lot of good episodes. And they bring in a lot of characters you would not expect to be in the show. Then the next episode, they fight Enchantress, and then a bunch of henchmen she's gathered. They lose, obviously. Then the next episode after that, they give us the origin story of Captain Marvel, kinda. And then we learn about the Kree, because they want to bring them up in a later episode. That's honestly as much as really what happens here. And Ant-Man and Wasp have a little bit of problems, and he ends up saying he loves her, but that doesn't really go anywhere throughout this season, because as far as I can tell, they did not get together or anything, so okay. Then the next episode, Hawkeye is trying to go after Black Widow because she betrayed him all the way back in the second episode of the series. Iron Man and Nick Fury and a bunch of other people tell him to stand down, but he convinces Captain America, Black Panther, and Mockingbird to come help him. Did not expect to see Mockingbird. Really cool to see her here. You don't see her very often. I heard she was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, which I do have on my list of shows to eventually watch. But I don't know if she's any good in that because I haven't seen it. But she's pretty cool in this. Wish we would have saw her in at least one more episode this season. It would be cool to see her next season, though I don't expect it. Of course, it turns out that they just kind of fucked up Nick Fury's plan because it's revealed that Black Widow was a mole. And she didn't actually betray Hawkeye. She was just going undercover for Hydra. Then the next three episodes are about Kang. Captain America says that Kang says that Captain America does not belong in this timeline, so he's gonna kill him because it's messing with Kang's future, which I think is kind of weird because shouldn't Baron Zemo also kind of mess with the timeline? I mean, yeah, he's alive for different reasons, but he still shouldn't be alive either. But no, it's just the superhero's fault. And then, there's two more episodes about Kang. They defeat Kang. And now he's imprisoned. I really hope he shows up more because Kang's a really powerful villain. It would be a shame if they just defeated him in the first season and then we never see him again. Oh, and I also forgot to mention they have the Ultron bots that are supposed to be nice, and they turn them into more aggressive robots, so they're able to take down Kang, which obviously does not end up working well. I figured Ant-Man would have turned the aggressive nature off after the mission, but no, he just leaves them on the aggressive thing. The next episode is about Malekith, which gives us a little tension between Iron Man and Thor, because Thor had talked about how science was a lot of the problems on Earth, and Iron Man is now criticizing Thor because now it's magic that is a problem on Earth. And we also do see his skepticism of magic, because in the comics, Iron Man does not like magic. I like that they show it in kid shows like this and in Superhero Squad, but I don't remember them ever showing his skepticism of magic in the MCU. The next episode, they work with Black Widow, where she reveals she's a double agent, which, duh, if you really thought Black Widow was working with the Nazis, unless you were a little kid who was watching this show at the time, it was pretty obvious that she was just a double agent, especially when Nick Fury insisted on the fact that they shouldn't take down Hydra, because obviously he had a plan then. But yeah, of course, they win, whatever. Then we get Ultron, and we find out that some villains that the Hulk take down that we saw in the first part of the Breakout, which I was really excited when I saw them in the first part of the Breakout. We see Red Ghost and his apes, which I actually have a comic book on my shelf with Red Ghost. I've always liked Red Ghost. You know, he's not the most unique villain. I mean, it's a guy that can phase through stuff, and he has 3 monkeys that fight for him. And one of them being a gorilla, orangutan, and a baboon, and they all have their own separate powers. And the comic, funnily enough, has Iron Man in it. And it's Iron Man and Sam Alexander's Nova going against Red Ghost and his apes. But Hulk takes them down off screen, and he just locks them up. So I guess Red Ghost is taken down now. Wish we would have actually got to see a fight scene. But no, that's what happens, you know. They take on Ultron. They beat him. Well, I guess we just got a sneak peek of the next movie I'm revealing. Anyways, back to the show. Enchantress and her goons are once again trying to win, and they once again fail. Loki expresses his disappointment in the next episodes, because now we have another 2-parter. There's a lot of 2-parters in the show, and the Avengers are left on their own on multiple different parts of the Earth, but not really the Earth, because they're actually on Asgard and other planets. So they're left all over the place trying to find each other and take down Loki, which they succeed. And then that's the end of season 1. It's a pretty fun kids show, and I'm kind of sad it only got 1 season. But since it is a kid show, I don't have as much to talk about it as I do with other shows like, you know, Doctor Who and stuff.